Hello everybody, today we have our favorite set of videos in which we recreate street food from all over the world. The first is the Japanese castella sponge cake. This is probably the softest sponge cake in the world, and in the shops where it is baked, they usually put a stamp on top. So let's recreate this cake. Open up some milk, measure out 200 milliliters. We also measure out 200 grams of flour and 200 grams of sugar. You'll also need 12 eggs and butter. First, we break the eggs and separate the yolks from the whites. Done. Sift the flour into the yolks. We also cut off 100 grams of soft butter. We open it up and dump it into the flour. There's also some milk. And we beat everything well with a mixer until all the components are combined like this. Mix up the egg whites in this mixer and let it whip it up all by itself. When a foam starts to appear, we slowly pour in sugar, after which the egg whites become so dense that if shaken, they remain in place. We're going to transfer this into our first mixture and gently mix. Take some parchment, cut off the bottom to fit the size of a baking sheet, sprinkle the baking sheet with oil, and put the parchment inside so that it sticks. You also need to cut a ribbon of parchment to go on the sides. Put that in as well. We put our fluffy dough into the mold, and put all this into a larger mold. And fill the bottom one with water. This is necessary so that the sponge cake is moist. And we send this into the oven at 150 degrees for as much as 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours have now passed and our cake is ready. We take off the parchment paper and we're left with a lush sponge cake. So this is less like a biscuit and more like a cake. We cut it in half. And the texture is very unusual. It looks like a wet sponge. Open up some condensed milk and pour it on the bottom half. We also need some strawberries. We take one out, tear off the tip, and cut the berry itself into slices. We spread these pieces on top of the condensed milk. And cover with the second half of the sponge cake. Remember I said that they put a stamp on top of their sponge cakes? Well, we're going to do one as well. We just heat it up on the stove and press into the top of the cake. It looks like we overheated the stamp and the crust just came off. But this made it even more unusual. Let's cut off a piece. And try it. This is the tastiest and wettest sponge cake I've ever tried. Be sure to try this one at home. Next, we have a 2-layer cheese pizza, which is made in India. They take the crust. The first is smeared with mayonnaise, and the second with tomato sauce. Then you grate on cheese, cover with the second piece. Again, mayonnaise, tomato sauce, some chopped bell pepper, also some red onion. And mix this all with corn and put on the pizza. Another layer of cheese, hot peppers, and olives. There you go, into the oven. And after 10 minutes, it turns out with the most beautiful pizza, not like a thin Italian one. Let's try it. We take the purchased pizza base, open up some mayonnaise, and lubricate the base with it. Then some ketchup. Smear it around. And to make the sauce tastier, sprinkle some provincial herbs on top. We took 2 different cheeses, Russian and mozzarella. Open the Russian one and cut it first into strips. And then into very thin pieces. It's the same with the mozzarella. Top the pizza with the Russian cheese, and then that mozzarella. Cover with the other crust, mayonnaise again, ketchup, provincial herbs, and 2 types of cheese. For the filling, we'll use olives, bell peppers, red onion, hot green pepper, and canned corn. Cut the onion into rings. And then into cubes. Same with the bell pepper. First into strips, and then into cubes. Open up the corn. Pour it out into the vegetables and mix. This will be the main topping for the pizza. Then put some more cheese on top. Black olives. Cut them into slices. And some hot pepper. We put all this on the pizza. But we will not bake this in an ordinary oven, but in a special oven rather that Dad made in one of his past videos. But first you need to chop up some wood. And we'll make a fire inside the oven. This has been burning for 2 hours. Then rake the coals on the sides with a poker. We'll put the pizza on a special spatula for pizzas and send it to the hot bricks. We give this literally 3 minutes so that it warms up well. Then we put it back on the spatula and lift it to the very top of the oven so that the cheese melts from above. That's it, our pizza is ready. Let's cut off a piece. And let's try it. It's very tasty. And we were not set back by the preparation of the dough, but due to the fact that it is made in the oven, the pizza has a slight hazy smell, and this greatly enhances its taste. Now we have the last for today and probably the most sticky. Preparation of handmade caramel candy. Hot caramel is poured onto a wide surface so that it sets. Then some dyes are added in, and after 10 minutes it's removed. They are mixed on a special hook so that the dye mixes well with the caramel. Then all this is rolled into a sausage, then into a very thin sausage, and cut it all into small caramels. Let's try and repeat this. The most important thing to do is cook the right caramel. We take a saucepan and pour water into it, 200 milliliters, and then some sugar so that it completely covers the water. And also this corn syrup, which was left over from past videos. We put this all on the stove on a very small heat, and we just don't touch it. Let the caramel boil itself. Most importantly, we need a thermometer. We lower the dipstick into the caramel and just wait until it's 150 degrees. The color of the caramel turns out to be amber. We take a baking sheet, sprinkle oil on it, remove the pan from the heat, and pour the caramel onto a baking sheet. So that it cools down faster, we'll put it in a second baking sheet where there is cooled water inside. We're also going to need 2 dyes, white and pink. On one half, we squeeze out the white, and on the other, pink. And mix it gently. There is no point in trying to achieve a perfectly uniform color, because it's totally unreal. We attach a clamp to the table. When the caramel has become soft, we divide it into 2 parts. We take the white painted side first, and with our hands, we begin to mix it around the clamp. Then with the help of sushi sticks, we continue to the whole thing until we get perfect uniform color. We're going to do the same thing with the pink dye. Now roll these out into a sausage. And the same with the white caramel. And we'll weave these two sausages together. After that, we'll divide it into shorter segments and roll it out into a really thin sausage. Now just look at the peculiarity of this caramel. If you cut it slowly, it bends, stretches, and it's not very convenient to cut at all. But if you hit it, it breaks off smoothly. Therefore, we cut our sausages in this way. And we're left with a lot of caramel candies. All are slightly different in size from each other. After all, these are handmade. I've tried purchased candies like this before, and it's just the same thing. The process of creating sweets is really interesting. Therefore, if you have children, I think that they'll like it very much. And if you would like this to continue making videos like these, then just give us some likes. 300,000 likes and we'll make some new videos.